Jasiah Jervis, collectively one of our favorites in the class of 2026, if not our favorite in the class of 2026. He has actually announced a final eight just this morning. We had this on the list for topics today last night before he released his top eight. It was going to focus in on two specific schools. And I think this conversation we're about to have will still focus in on those two specific schools. But let me update people first. Jasiah Jervis has announced his top eight will be Michigan State, NC State, Texas, Pitt, Illinois, Florida, Oregon, and Tennessee. A lot of really good programs there. A lot of schools good for guards, score for shooting guards, can thrive in. You are mouthing the word mine every single time I mention Jasiah Jervis right now. Would you like to just jump right in here? Your reaction to his final eight?
Mine. First off, mine. I think you will make an amazing Spartan. I think that you have a great culture fit here at Michigan State, and I think that the other schools that are on this list, specifically the NC State Wolfpack, are a school that are about ifs, buts, and maybes at this point, and they play second fiddle and they get our seconds, basically. Shout out to Trey Holloman. I hope you enjoy Grind Week. I hope you enjoy this process. I love you, and I hope you become a Spartan.
Are you talking to Trey Holloman? Or are you
No,
talking? Okay.
I'm talking to Mr. Jervis.
Oh, when you said I hope you enjoy Grind Week, I figured you were talking to Trey Holloman, Spartan Dog for Life, noted logo general who had the greatest moment in Michigan State basketball culture history this past year when he protected the logo and Tom Izzo allowed him to do something he's not ever allowed another Michigan State player ever to do, kiss the logo before he graduates. Yeah, Trey Holloman should be back for Grind Week. I'm sure he'll greatly enjoy it too. But cool that
The
Josiah
only
won.
reason he needs to come back to the state of Michigan is to finish the job. He already ran off fat. Now it's time to send LJ to the Shadow Realm.
It's honestly very cool that Jasiah Jervis will be in town for Grind Week because he'll get to study under his mentor, Trey Holloman, who can teach him where to go if he wants to get paid playing college basketball, which is to Will Wade's open arms at NC State. And look, you still get to be invited back to Tom Izzo and friends. This is going to kill me if Jasiah Jervis goes to Michigan State. I want to warn everyone right now. I'll
What?
quit.
Why?
I can't do it anymore.
What do you mean you can't do
If
it?
you get Medlock and Jasiah, my two favorite guards in the entire class, I'll quit.
Got it. Can I ask you to dip into your degree for 1 second and negatively recruit against Will Wade?
Give me like 120 seconds, and yes, I can do that.
Okay.
So,
We can talk about the rest of the schools on this list though before we
well,
get to
no, we don't need to because it sounds like two schools are prioritizing themselves, and that's where we're headed here. So, before he announced his final eight, this is something that Jamie Shaw reported over the weekend, and he was kind of doing like a recruiting roundup. Reminder, it's kind of like a little bit of a dead period in recruiting. I don't know if that's the proper term, but there's no games going on, nothing really happening in high school recruiting right now. Just players sort of deciding to trim their lists on their own, maybe take some visits, etc. And the scuttlebutt on Jasiah Jervis was that two schools are the two schools that are getting named the most when Jamie Shaw's asked about this recruitment or asking around. The way Jamie phrased this was the two schools I'm hearing most about from sources around this recruitment at this point in the process are Michigan State and NC State. Now, he also adds, as he continues to set his visits, sources have said that they're waiting to see if Illinois or Florida can make a push. But for now, it's fair to frame this the two schools have separated themselves as the early leaders for Jasiah Jervis, and it is your Michigan State Spartans, and it is my NC State Wolfpack. So, what does that mean to you? Michigan State versus NC State, Cart. What does that feel like to you?
it's a here's the thing that I think I like. Here's my positive spin on this because I think it's a clear distinction between the two schools on what you want, right? I think if this comes down to a bag situation, I think Will Wade and NC State will get it done. Even though are we like positive that NC State just has a plethora of funds? Like I know Will Wade is all about the funds, but as far as like them funding things, do they just have bread to throw?
I don't think they have crazy money, at least not like in year one of the Will Wade era. But yeah, it's kind of the inverse of Michigan State. Like I think Michigan State has hella money and a coach who's not into it, and then NC State may not have hella money, but a coach who is all into it.
All into it. Yeah. So it's a very interesting kind of how this breaks down. And when I put that kind of out of the way, it becomes, a Will Wade versus Tom Izzo thing. And I think those are two good basketball coaches. I think two basketball coaches with different styles and approach to the game. And it's basically what you want. Like it's really a what you want situation here. Like I feel like I'm trying to think of a scenario where it's two coaches who are similar, and it's like, which way do you lean? Because those two coaches are so similar. I think Will Wade and Tom Izzo are just very different. And if what you want and what you want to do is clear, then there's a clear choice here.
Sure, that would scare me if I'm you. On a serious note, not like a joking thing. That would scare me if I'm you because this. The only time we've seen Will Wade at NC State and Tom Izzo at Michigan State have any sort of head-to-head anything was with Trey Holloman. And maybe it's not even fair to call it head-to-head. Maybe it's more accurate to just say Will Wade took Trey Holloman and Tom Izzo didn't do much to stop it. Um, all I would say is this. I do feel like, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like we believe there was at least conversations behind the scenes of like, hey, I'm Trey Holloman. I'm thinking of going to NC State. And whether I think it's been written, like they just didn't see eye to eye once that conversation started on roll, on anything. So, in one sense, I think it would be fair to say like Michigan State didn't want to lose Trey Holloman, and they did to Will Wade. And the reason this matters is this card. Trey Holloman was not a guy that I would consider a Will Wade guy. He's not a guy that I would consider not a Tom Izzo guy, right? We would have sat here 6 months ago and said Trey Holloman is the epitome of what Michigan State basketball is. It was hard to even find a player out there who was more in line with Tom Izzo and the program's Spartan Dog values than Trey Holloman. But one conversation with Will Wade seemed to get him to drop all of that.
Hmm.
That would scare me because on paper, Jasiah Jervis is very much a dog, the type of kid that would resonate with Tom Izzo. But Will Wade's probably one of the only coaches in the country right now that I think we have a data point to point to and say he's taken a guy and pulled him out of that and convinced him to give all that up. And that's
Hmm.
kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah. Here's my rebuttal to that, because I think it's a valid point. But my rebuttal to that would be: is Trey Holloman? Like maybe the fight wasn't as tough as it would be for a guy like, I just think it's like different type of players. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like one is Jasiah Jervis and one is Trey Holloman. And I feel like they would have seen eye to eye if maybe they viewed, like, I don't know. I think it'll eventually come out, but like there's got to be some disconnect on like how Trey views himself and how Izzo views Trey or Michigan State views Trey. Like I know the fan base loved him, and obviously the actions of Tom Izzo said that he loved the kid, but obviously some disconnect happened there once Will Wade got involved, and Will Wade was probably like, "I'll pay you, I'll let you be the guy," which probably
Yeah,
resonates with him.
that slash like I'll just put the ball in your hands, which I'll
Right.
be honest, I do think as far as the pitch goes, Josiah Jervis is going to want the ball in his hands. If you've watched him play, he is a ball in his hands, score first alpha guard, which again is an interesting fit with both 2 more years of Jeremy Fears, but also like come play next to Medlock. Like I think those two are both wired like dogs. I love them, but there's not a lot of ball to go around if you always have a floor general pure point. Trey Holloman ultimately was sick of that. It's pretty clear at this point. He was like, I want the ball at some point. And Will Wade was like, I'll put the ball in your hands. So I don't know. We'll see. I'd be watching what Will Wade does this year pretty closely. with Trey. Not that Jasiah Jervis is anything like Trey Holloman. Jasiah Jervis, to your point, is way, 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 way better on paper. But yeah, it just pure honest analysis for me. If I was Michigan State, Will Wade's one of the last people I would want to be in a head-to-head battle with after how the first conversation went. We'll see if I'm wrong. Now, can I fulfill what you asked me to do? You want me to lean into my degree here for a moment?
Yeah. Well, I want one more moment here.
Okay.
Uh, Tom, put the ball in my hand. You're Trey Holloman. No. Jasiah Jervis, put the ball in my hand, Tom. Hell yeah, Josiah. Okay, got you. I'll do that.
Sure.
I will do that for you.
Taking
Also,
taking
we
away from the
might
floor,
we,
General?
we might have a new. I mean, like other guy. I think that other guys get them. I mean, I know that Jeremy Fears is a very like point guard floor general guy,
No, he's the floor general. He's
but he
not a
doesn't just
very
have the
point
ball. He
guard
doesn't have the ball for 40 minutes a game.
card. He's not a point guard, floor general, E guy. He is the floor general, trademark,
Will
hashtag the floor general.
Will Wade needs to be scared because I think Tom Izzo might be making promises.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Did you
You
see the
hit, are
quote?
you hearing some things?
Did you see the quote?
No, I didn't see the
Oh, I
quote.
might be reading into this. Uh, he said about Michigan State, they don't offer a lot of players to come in and compete as freshmen. So the fact that they did that with me stands out, and it lets me know I can fit right away. We made promises. We're here. Welcome to Michigan State, Josiah. And also, it's been a minute. I'm a little rusty, right? Because Mike Woodson moved on to Indiana or moved on to assistant coach of the Kings. I'm ready to dust off my dancing shoes. I would love Will Wade to step to the dance floor immediately. I
So
want this dance.
reminder, you are 0 and 1 on let's have this dance
Hmm.
offs.
And I'm ready to get back on the saddle.
Because your previous dance was with Mike Woodson, who stormed into the Breslin Center and beat Tom Izzo on Tom Izzo record win night
Stormed in Dane Fife style. Yup.
while you were taking pudding shots in an Ann Arbor bar after my team packed up Matt Painter.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm looking forward to watching this recruitment play out.
Let's dance.
Can I do my you wanted me to be a Michigan State fan for
Sorry,
a
floor
second.
is yours.
Can I do that? Okay.
Go for it.
I feel like you appropriately covered this well. Here's my let's make the pitch for Michigan State pitch. You said Tom Izzo and Will Wade are both good coaches. Those were your words about 5 minutes ago, right?
Some might say.
That's not the way to frame this head to head. This is one of the five greatest coaches in college basketball history against Will fucking Wade. That's the entire pitch.
That's what it is.
That's all it is.
That's all
That's
it
the
is.
pitch. Yeah, that's the pitch. I jokes aside, I love Jasiah Jervis. Everyone knows this. I think he's an unstoppable player. In fact, Cart, I'd like to propose a nickname for Jasiah Jervis.
Please.
The Score General.
We're just a team full of
He's
generals.
the Score General. Yeah, I mean, whether he's on Michigan State or not, you could pair the Score General with the Floor General, or the Score General might just go to a team that wants to play through a Score General instead of a Floor General. I'm just saying. There is no player that is a better isolation scorer, I think, in this 26 class than Jasiah Jervis. He's skyrocketed up the rankings. I adore him. He deserves everything he's gotten. He's really fun. He is a true tough mentality dog type that Michigan State fans tend to gravitate towards. And jokes aside, in all seriousness, if Michigan State is able to close the deal here and they pair Medlock and Jervis together, that's my favorite Spartan backcourt ever.
Ever.
Name me one. I mean, Michigan State fans will probably rebuttal with theirs, but like, yeah, it would be my favorite Michigan State team since like Cassius Bridges Jaron. Which how could you watch that team and not just adore them, right? Even
Yeah.
as a rival, I just had to be like, this is awesome.
Mhm.
But talking solely backcourt, point guard, shooting guard, I would take Medlock and Jervis over Cassius and Langford as
Mhm.
recruits coming in. I would take Medlock and Jervis over Keith and Gary. I would take Medlock and Jervis over. I mean, you'd probably go back to Kalen and Darrell Summers. That would be the last time there's a Michigan State backcourt that I would have to think about liking more than Medlock and Jervis as a pair.
Zell Bryn.
good, fun because they knew each other. But
Yeah, because they knew each other.
I mean, that was the whole time was just like these dudes like grew up together. That's cool. Like
Yeah,
I played 3-on-3 against them in the summers.
they were probably so nice.
I would never play Medlock and Jasiah in 3-on-3 ever.
Me either.
Yeah. Are you gonna get them?
Yes.
You are so genuinely confident here. It makes me feel like you know something.
Do you know me? I never know anything.
That is a trait of you.
That's a trade to me. But to your point, in all seriousness, it's hammered into me that I should be scared of Will Wade. But why?
Because he took Trey. That's the only reason.
Well, if that's the reason, then I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid that he was sending money to players before it was actually cool, and that he took a McNeese State team to a tournament win. That's awesome. But it doesn't strike fear in me.
What about the boombox though?
Boombox schmoombox.
Okay, we'll
Who's he
see.
gonna play with next season too, by the way?
At NC State,
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume probably Cohen Carr and
The next he the next Michigan State player, they'd say.
let's wrap the video before I get in more trouble, man.
All right.